Hi, my name is Dave Burchett. I am the Elder Chairman here at Waterbrook Bible Fellowship, and welcome to this presentation of the agenda for our annual meeting. A couple of things we're going to cover in this presentation: the affirmation of 2023 elders, and the elders that we will be voting on to affirm are Stephen Bramer, myself, Dave Burchett, Dan Carnifex, Jeff Denton, Paul Leininger, Ross Peterson, Mark Tapey, Bob Williams, and Bob Word. And then we will also present and have an affirmation of the 2023 proposed budget. And now I'm with Jeff Denton, our lead pastor, will be part of that presentation. And I welcome in our stewardship chairman, Bob Irvin, to go through that presentation with you.
As we move into the budget presentation, what happens is that each year, the Waterbrook family, we bring you the budget that we ask to be affirmed. The elders have gone through this on a monthly basis. Our stewardship chairman, our bookkeeper, our treasurer go through these along with the stewardship team. They go through the books every month. These are presented to the elders on a monthly basis at our meetings, and we keep track of the budget, the expenditures throughout the entire year. When we come to this meeting, we bring to the congregation sort of a snapshot of a look at what the last year has been and then what we anticipate for the next year. And I will say this, that always a budget is what we believe God is leading us towards for ministry for the coming year. And so it's both a step of faith as well as a reasoned and sort of a business approach to what God is leading us to this year. So Bob, why don't you start us with 2022 and a little bit of a snapshot of what we've seen in the last year.
Okay, for 2022 actually started very unusual for us because right after the first year, our giving is usually down and is down for several months. But in 2022, the first 4 months of the year were actually very good. We were above budget on all those 4 months. And I think part of that, Jeff, was the fact that we were also giving to other things. So, and that mainly is our missions and giving to the Ukraine.
Yes.
So, and this year we gave over $70,000 for the Ukraine. And then we were also able to give over $30,000 in benevolence to members of the Waterbrook family and to people outside that.
So our budget for last year was $888,731, which was it was a stretch of a budget. But by the end of the year, were we able to meet that budget?
As many of you saw, in December, we were as much as $30,000 behind. But in actuality, because of a giving of our members, we were actually able to finish $6,500 above our budget for last year, which is incredible.
And that number, so the 944, the thing is that doesn't even count in the extra $100,000 that we gave to Ukraine, that we gave to in benevolence funds for the year, that the Waterbrook family was so incredibly generous. And when we talk about giving towards a budget, and as Bob just mentioned, we have these extra things that we do, special mission projects that we do throughout the year, special projects that we do in our community, and that it is a little bit of a misnomer to look at those numbers and go, oh, well, we hit budget, yay, hurrah. No, we hit $100,000 over and beyond budget by the generosity of the Waterbrook family, and I can only say praise God for that. Because it's not that even when we're looking at, oh, we're about 30,000 behind when we were approaching the end of the year, we were still saying, but we're still 100,000 over what we had expected for the year. And here's what we'll say. Those special funds, when it's Ukraine or a special missions project or anything like that, or even special benevolence needs, those are sort of the sexy giving of church giving that people love to give to that, and it's exciting. But to give to the mundane general giving, that's not quite as attractive for many people. But let me say this, that's where your staff salaries happen. That's where our mission giving, the 10% comes right off the top of that general giving. That's where most of our mission giving takes place for the year. That's where our local outreaches in the rodeos and to the schools and things like that all happen through that general budget. And that's why it's so important when we look at the year and we do our planning for the year. So when we look at 2023, what are we looking towards, Bob?
Okay. So after we went through a lot of our spending, what we did in 2022, we actually spent more than our budget mainly because of inflation.
Yes.
We went back and checked all that and went back for inflation. So what we're proposing for 2023 is a 4.5% increase in our budget for over 2022. So that's 4.5%, and is only 3.8% above what our actual giving was in 2022.
And so that actual number for the 2023 budget is $928,750.
Correct.
And again, as you mentioned to that, that's in line with inflation. It is less than inflation. And when we look back, what we already know for this coming year is, just like you at home, our utility bills are up.
Our utility bills will go up. We figure we're getting new quotes right now for our June expiration of our current contract, and it's currently about 80% over what we had before. And we've also run into different things. For example, we're putting new lighting in this sanctuary. We bought half the lights last year. When we went to buy the other half this year, they were $4,000 more than we went last year. So we've took into a lot of those areas. I put in additional monies for the electrical increase and that type of thing in that 4.5% increase.
So it's not that we've done anything extravagant or actually planned anything new. In fact, I would say to you that we have planned and are working towards getting a new staff member in 2023, and that staff member is not actually budgeted into this budget, because when we get there, we'll have to figure out at what point in the year how much we need for that to happen, and that there will be that additional increase that happens at that point. All of the increase that's in here is primarily inflation. Correct. And the cost of doing so, everything from the cost of paper in the office and bulletins to fellowship supplies and everything, the cost, just like it is for you at home, has gone up, and we've tried to limit those things as best we can. Yes. But that we've just had some costs that most of the increase this year is due to those things and sort of beyond our control.
Yeah, we've had some fixed costs that have gone up. Our janitorial cost has gone up because of the fact we had a 5-year plan with them as well. So there's additional costs that are going to go up over the year. And hopefully inflation will decline this year. We don't know that, but we've budgeted in there for some of that stuff that may come up as we go along. So
we didn't build into the budget this year. We didn't do any across-the-board raises for salaries. We didn't do anything like that, that all of the costs are the cost of doing ministry this year.
Exactly.
So again, the budget that we're proposing for 2023 and asking the membership to approve, $750,000, which is, again, repeat to me, what is the percentage of that increase?
It's a 4.5% increase over that. Okay. It's about $780 a week over what our budget was in 2022.
And so we would be asking the congregation, we're asking people to give more. We're asking people who don't give. If we have about half of our congregation who actively give in the offering on a weekly basis, there are a lot of people who pledge and commit to Waterbrook who may not be actively giving to the support of the church. And I just want to say that is part of our commitment to one another in the body of Christ, and whether you give online or you give in the offering boxes, that we want to continue to encourage you to be obedient to Christ in that process of giving, that there is a blessing in giving to the congregation. And so please do that. And for those who can give a little bit more, that it will help us in the year ahead. Bob, any closing words about our budget or the process?
No, I think we prayed about it as a stewardship committee. We met with you and others and went down line by line to see where we can do and what we do. So I think this is a very good budget we're proposing for them.
So that budget will be up there, and as you heard our chairman, Dave Burchett, mention, so we'll have both the approval of the 2023 budget, which will be part of our membership meeting, as well as the affirmation of the 2023 slate of elders. And so we take this meeting very seriously. It's not just a rubber stamp of something. It is where we have actually, as the elders and as our board have gotten together, we've prayed very seriously about these things. The nominations for new elders for this year come through the congregation, and many of you help to make those recommendations. They go through a committee that are vetted in that process. And so we take these things very seriously and hope that you will join us for the membership meeting, which will be taking place on January 21st at 10:30 in between our two services. Join us for that and make sure that you're a part of that important meeting as well. We'll confirm and affirm our membership covenant with one another. And so, though it will be, the vote will be taken with the Waterbrook members, the affiliate members who are part of our congregation this year, as part of the Special Lake City Church, we want to invite all of you affiliate members to be a part of this as well, as part of our church family and praying and loving together and living in community together. We'd love for all of you to be at this meeting, on our annual meeting this year, in between services on Sunday, January the 21st. So thank you very much. We appreciate your attention and your time to this video, and hope that it's been helpful as you make your decisions approaching this meeting.